Good afternoon, everybody. This is Apba Brian, bringing to you Apba Baseball Classics. Today's game will feature the Gas House game, World Champion 1934 St. Louis Cardinals against the World Champion 2005 Chicago White Sox. Game will be played in Chicago. We're going to see such stars as Frankie Frisch, player-manager. He's bringing Pepper Martin, Rip Collins, Tex Carlton, Paul Dean, Joe Medwick, and, of course, Dizzy Dean. For the Chicago White Sox, Freddie Garcia, Paul Konerko, Jermaine Dye. Today, Jermaine Dye will be my White Sox picks to click. Who would be yours? Could it be Scott Prusegnick or A.J. Pierzynski, who I think was the smartest catcher of his era? Today's starting lineups for the Cardinals: Pepper Martin will be playing third base, Rothrock in left field, Rip Collins in first base, Joe Medwick in right field, Frankie Frisch second base, Bill Delancey the catcher, Ernie Orsatti in center field, and Leo the Lip DeRocher the shortstop. Today's pitcher is Paul Dean, and he is a grade B pitcher, XZ. Actually, we're going to be using the Paul Marino boards today. He is grade 11, XZ modifiers. For the Chicago White Sox, Scott Prusegnick in center field. Is that his first name? Yep. Scott Prusegnick in center field, Aaron Rowan in right field, Paul Konerko first base, Jermaine Dye in left field, Joe Creedy third base, A.J. Pierzynski the catcher, Iguchi's the second baseman, and Juan Uribe the shortstop. John Garland will be on the mound for Chicago. John Garland has a Z modifier, and he is a grade 13 pitcher. We're all set, ready for the first roll. Here's the pitch to Pepper Martin. 28 is a ground out to shortstop. Pepper Martin is the first out. The White Sox are fielding column 1, and the St. Louis Cardinals will be using fielding column 2. Here's John Rothrock. It's a 9 on a grade 13 pitcher. Garland is a right-handed pitcher. Rothrock would be a -1, so that makes him a 14. And that is going to be a base hit for Jack Rothrock. He's at first. He's got pretty good speed. With one down. That brings the bat Rip Collins, powerful first baseman. 22 is going to be a second column roll. White Sox might be in business here already in the first inning. 63 is going to be a double, and that will be enough to score Rothrock. The Cardinals take a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. Here is Joe Medwick. That's a drive. It might be. It could be. It is out of here for a home run. A 2-run home run for Joe Medwick. He's a -1, so it'd be a 14. If it's got an H on his card, it's not going to be a home run. Let's see if he has the H. Garland does not have an H on his card, so it is a home run. And the Cardinals take a 3-0 early lead here in the top of the first. Frankie Frisch. 27 is going to be a ground out to third base. 2 away. Bill Delancey, the catcher for St. Louis. and he strikes out, ending the first inning. But the Cardinals jump to an early lead, 3-0 over the White Sox, who are coming to bat. Leading off for Chicago is Scott Posednik, the center fielder. Here's the pitch to Posednik. There's an 11 base hit for Posednik. And he's going to get right down to business and steal. Okay, there is no throwing rating on the card for Delancey, and no hole rating on Paul Dean, so it's going to be chances for Posednik, who is let's see, steal rating would be 28. So the chances are 11 through 54 to be safe. But 62 is the throw, and Delancey cuts him down. He is out at second base with the second baseman covering. That brings the bat Aaron Rowand with one out. Aaron Rowand. 24 is a round out to second base. Paul Konerko. That's an 8 against a right-handed pitcher rated 11. He's -2, so he'll be on the 13 column. That is going to be a base hit for Paul Konerko. Here is Jermaine Dye, might take the click today. Pitch to Konerko. 51 is a 9 on the 13 column. That's a base hit as well. And the runner will go to second, so the Sox have, with 2 out, runners on first and second. Joe Creedy coming to bat. Here's the pitch to Creedy. That's an 8 with, he's a -2, so be on the 13 column. That will be a infield pop-up to second base for the third out. So the threat goes by the wayside. We go to the top of the second. Cardinals 2, White Sox 0. Ernie Orsetti will lead off for St. Louis. White Sox are dressed in their white uniforms with trimmed in black with pinstripes. Cardinals are out there in their road grays. They've not been washed for a few days. You can tell that they are a dirty bunch. Here's the pitch to Orsetti. 54 is a fly out to right field. 1 down. Leo DeRocher steps in for the Cardinals. One is a 9 against a 13 with a 3, so it'd be 9 gets on 16. Base hit for Leo DeRocher. Paul Dean comes to bat. There's the pitch to Dean, brother of Dizzy. 32 is a 26. So it's going to be a fielder's choice. Ground out to second base. Rocher is retired, and Dean is the base runner. Now 2 away and back to the top of the Cardinal order, and Pepper Martin. There's the pitch to Martin. 42 is going to be a strikeout. We go to the bottom of the second inning. 2-zip Cardinals. A.J. Pierzynski will lead off for the White Sox. Here's the pitch to Pierzynski. 33 is going to be a second column roll. And that 64 is going to put him on second base. A double for A.J. Przinsky with nobody out. Average speed at second. Tadahito Iguchi is the batter. Here's the pitch to Iguchi. 45 is a 14, 2 balls and no strikes. He has the Z modifier. 52 is a 27. Be a ground out to third base. Przinsky will have to hold at second, and there is one down. Juan Uribe. 34 is a high pop out to second base. 2 outs. John Garland's the batter. Garland strikes out. We go to the top of the third. St. Louis 3, Chicago 0. Jack Rothrock will come in for the Cardinals, and he singled and scored in the first inning. Here's the pitch to Rothrock. 61 is a 40 play result for a foul ball. .64 is a strikeout for Rothrock. Brings the bat Rip Collins, who got the first big hit for the Cardinals, driving in Rothrock in the first with a double. 22 is going to be a second column roll here. 24 is a double for Rothrock. For Collins, rather. Rip Collins is at second. Rothrock was a strikeout. He used the first out. So 1 out, runner in second. Joe Medwick, the batter. And he didn't switch uniforms. Still in his Cardinal uniform. 62-26. It's going to be a ground out to second base. Advancing Collins the third with 2 outs. Frankie Frisch, the player manager, steps in. 36 is the roll. That is a pop out to shallow center field. We go to the bottom of the third. Cardinals 3, Chicago 0. The top of the order for Chicago, Scott Pasednik. 62 is a 26, ground out to second base. The first out. Aaron Rowan, tremendous defensive player. Oh, there's a double sixes second column roll. That will be a double for Pasednik. And the Sox have a scoring threat here in the bottom of the third. Paul Konerko. 2 is a 25. That is going to be a double play line drive to third base. No, I was reading wrong. Runner's on second base. 25 is going to be line drive to second base for the out, but not a double play. It's going to be 2 outs. Jermaine Dye. 1-5 is a 10. He is a -2 against 13. That's a single, but Roland will only get to third. First and third, 2 outs. Here's Joe Creedy. Pitch to Creedy is a 44. That's an 8 on column 13. Base hit. 1 run scores, and die will go all the way to third. So the Sox are on the board. And they have runners at first and third again, with A.J. Pierzynski at bat. Here's the pitch to Pierzynski. 31 is a 42. Hit by a pitch ball. Loading the bases. There are Sox everywhere. Tadahito Iguchi comes to bat. 1-6 is going to be a ground out to shortstop. Ending the bottom of the third, we go to the fourth. Cardinals 3, White Sox 1. John Garland goes back out to take his warm-up tosses. And Bill Delancey, the catcher, will be the batter. 64 is a base on balls. Cardinals start off with a base runner. Average speed. Ernie Osati, the center fielder, comes up. 53 is a 15, column 1. And he is hit by the pitcher. So some retaliation going on here. John Garland's not going to let him get away with it. First and second. Umpire gives everybody a warning. And here is Leo DeRocher, who has plenty to say about these proceedings as he steps into the box. Garland looks and fires in the home. Here's the pitch. 21 is a 30. It's going to be a fly out to shallow left field. For the first out, Paul Dean. 13 is a 23, fielding column 1. Foul strike. The catcher is injured on the foul tip. Okay, the new catcher for Chicago is Chris Widger. Paul Dean still at the plate. Here's the pitch to Dean. 22 is a 7. He's -3, so plus 13 would be on the 16 column. That's going to be a single. 1 run's going to score. Orsatti will go to third. And Paul Dean helps his cause and makes his score St. Louis 4, Chicago 1. They're starting in the Chicago bullpen. Infield will play back. There's only 1 out. Pepper Martin steps in for St. Louis. 32 is a 26. That's going to be a double play ground out to second base. 4 to 6 to 3, ending the top of the 4th inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Cardinals 4, White Sox 1. Juan Uribe will start off for the White Sox. Pitch to Uribe. 54 is a fly out to right field. Timeout. There will be a pinch hitter for John Garland. Batting for the pitcher, John Garland, will be Carl Everett for the White Sox. He'll be swinging from the left side of the plate. Here's the pitch to Everett. 54 is a fly out to right field. 2 down. And Scott Plesednik will be the batter for Chicago. He strikes out. We go to the top of the fifth. Cardinals 4, White Sox 1. The new pitcher for Chicago is going to be Luis Vizcaino. He's a grade 11 pitcher with no modifiers. Jack Rothrock will lead off the fifth for the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's the pitch. 44 is going to be a 7. That's going to be a base hit. Rothrock will be at first. Rip Collins the batter. Rip Collins has 2 doubles on the day. So no plays are going to be on. They're going to let Collins swing away. Here's the pitch. 46-29 is going to be a ground out to the pitcher, but Rothrock will go to second, and they retire Rip Collins for the first time. 1 out. Joe Medwick. 42 is the roll. That's a 9 against a right-handed pitcher, grade 11. 1 adjustment, so 12. .26 is the play result. Ground out to second base. Rothrock will go to third. 2 away. Frankie Frisch. That's a pop-up. Foul territory. It's being chased down by Uribe, and he has got it on the third base side. So for the third out, we go to the bottom of the fifth. St. Louis 4, Chicago 1. Aaron Rowan will lead off for the White Sox. He is 1 for 2 with a double. 62 is 26. Ground out to second base. Paul Konerko. That will be a base on balls. And Konerko will run the bases for the second time today. With 1 out, Jermaine Dye. Four is a fly ball. It's going to be caught left field. 2 away. And the White Sox have not had trouble getting base runners. They just have not been able to get a hit at the right time. Joe Critty, 34, is a fly out to center field. We go to the sixth, St. Louis 4, Chicago 1. Luis Vizcaino will come out and pitch the 6th inning. He will face the catcher, Bill Delancey. 55 is a 8. Delancey against a right-hander is a +1. So that makes it 8 on a 10. Base hit. Delancey's on for the second time. He walked his last time up. Average speed at first base, and Ernie Orsetti is the batter. There's the pitch to Orsetti. 45 is going to be a base on balls. So the Cardinals start the 6th with runners on first and second. White Sox are going to get some people up in the bullpen. And it looks like Neil Cox. Neil Cox is warming up in the Chicago bullpen. Leo DeRocher is the batter. Here's the pitch to DeRocher with nobody out. 41, 24. It's going to be a ground ball double play to second base. Delancey will go to third. 4 to 6 to 3. And that's 2 quick outs to help restore order for Vizcaino. The runner's going to be at third now, 2 outs for the pitcher, Paul Dean. That is a ground out. Not a ground out. It's going to be a line out to second base. Ending the inning, we go to the bottom of the sixth. Cards 4, White Sox 1. Leading off for Chicago is the third baseman, Joe Creedy. .43 is a 29 play result, which is a ground out, X modifier strikeout. So not Creedy. Creedy was the last out. So the next batter is Chris Widger, who's a 43, 29 X modifier. He's a strikeout. So one down. Tadahito Oguchi comes to bat. 54 is a fly out to right field. 2 away. Juan Uribe. 28 is going to be a ground out to shortstop. So the White Sox go quietly in their half of the sixth. We go to the seventh. St. Louis 4, Chicago 1. It's time for our seventh inning trivia question. Amongst these 3 Cardinal teammates, James Tex Carlton, Jim Ripper Collins, and Joe Bucky Medwick, which Cardinal teammate punched and flattened the other 2? The answer in the bottom of the inning. And we are going to have a new pitcher for Chicago. That is going to be Neil Kotz, who is a grade 21 relief pitcher, XY modifiers, and a W modifier. Top of the Cardinal order for the 7th, and Pepper Martin. Fly out to left field, 1 away. Jack Rosbach. That's a 9. Against a left-hander, he is -1, so it'll be 22. Ground out to second base, 2 outs. Kotz will face Rip Collins, who is 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and RBI. 53 is a 20 on column 1. That's to second base. And the second baseman is Tadahito Oguchi, who is a column 2. That will be an error. Putting a runner on. So third time Collins has been on. Joe Medwick. 21 is a fly out to left field. We go to the bottom of the 7th, St. Louis 4, Chicago 1. The answer to the 7th inning trivia question is Joe Ducky Medwick, who flattened Tex Carlton, and Ripper Collins even threatened the Dean brothers of Bucky Medwick. Dizzy complained, just as you're working up a head of steam and getting to the fighting stage, Joe bops you and it's over. That ain't no way to fight. He was well known for his 2 fists, but a great Hall of Fame hitter he was. His biggest moment came in the 7th game of the 1934 World Series, where he became the only Major League player to be ejected by the Commissioner of Baseball while a Major League game was in progress. This was for his own protection after sliding into third baseman Marv Owen in the bottom of the 6th inning of Game 7 of the 34 World Series. Ducky Medwick was the answer to today's trivia question. Paul Dean comes out, takes his warm-up tosses, and he'll be facing the top of the He'll be facing a pinch hitter. Batting for Neil Kotz, the pitcher, is Timo Perez. Here's the pitch. 22 is a 8. It's a 0 modifier to 11. 8 on 11 is going to be base hit. So Timo Perez succeeds, and he will be on first with some speed. Top of the order, Scott Posednik. We're going to hit and run with Posednik. 1-4 is a 30. It's going to be a fly out to left field, and Timo Perez will have to scramble back to first base. There is one out. Aaron Rowan. They'll hit and run also. 54 is a 32. Fly out to right field. Perez will return to first. 2 away. Paul Konerko. Not running this time. That's a 9. Play result of column 13. A base hit. So Konerko is 2 for 3. Since Timo Perez is second. And that will bring up Jermaine Dye, my pick to click today. He is representing the tying run. Here's the windup. The pitch to Jermaine Dye. 43 is the roll. 29 is a ground out back to the pitcher. That ends the 7th inning. We go to the 8th. Cardinals 4, White Sox 1. Okay, the White Sox will have a new pitcher here in the 8th inning. He is Cliff Polite. He is a grade 20 X modifier. Leading off for the Cardinals, Frankie Frisch. 44 is a 7 on grade 20. Base hit. No outs. Frankie Frisch on first. And Bill Delancey will bat. 1-2 is a 25. That's going to be a double play ground ball to second base. 4-6-3. So 2 quick outs now, and we go to Ernie Orsetti. Orsetti's 1 for 3 on the day with a single. 64 is a strikeout. By the bottom of the 8th, Cardinals are holding on to that 4-1 lead. Joe Creedy will lead off the bottom of the 8th for Chicago. 31 is the roll. 14, he gets a base on balls. The catcher, Chris Widger. 43 is a 29. That's going to be a fielder's choice. Ground out 1-3, or 1-6 rather. And now Widger will be on first. Here's a slow runner. White Sox will play it safe. Higuchi. 26 is a strikeout. Uribe. 64 is a strikeout. Go to the top of the 9th. 4-1 White Sox. Or trailing the Cardinals. Leo DeRocher will lead off for the Cardinals. Here's the pitch. 62 is a 26. Ground out to second base. One down. Paul Dean. 44 is an 8. -3 against a right-hander. 8 on a 23 is most surely going to be an out. Fly out to center field. 2 down. And top of the order, Pepper Martin, Cardinals third baseman. He's been shut out today, though. He's 0 for 4. Here's the pitch. 1-5. That's going to be an 11 on 22. Base hit. And why not? Martin is going to try to steal. Polite's move the first is 0, and Widget's throw rating is -4. The steal rating for Pepper Martin is B24, makes him B28. And so his chances are going to be 11 to 54 to be safe. Here he goes. And he is safe with a roll of 16, so Pepper Martin steals second. Jack Rothwell will have a chance to drive him in. Here's the pitch to Rothwell. 64 is a strikeout. Ending the Cardinals' ninth. Go to the bottom of the ninth. Cardinals 4, White Sox 1. Paul Dean is going to come out and pitch the ninth. Nobody's working in the bullpen. We are playing with expanded rosters here, and I'm going to bring in Joe Borchard, who's going to swing from the left side against Paul Dean. And he had a .417 average in 12 at-bats. He will be batting for Kotz. Here's the pitch to Borchard. That's a 9. He's +2 against left-handed pitchers. It's right-handed pitcher, so -2. We're looking at 9 on the 13. Base hit. So Joe Borchard will add to that gaudy average and go to first base. Brings the bat Scott Posednik. 1-5 is a 11, -2 against right-handers, so that 11 on the 13. That's a base hit, sending Borchard all the way to third base. So the White Sox are going to get to bring the tying run up here in the bottom of the ninth, and the Cardinals are going to go to the bullpen. The new pitcher for St. Louis will be Jesse Pop Hames, a veteran reliever for St. Louis. He is a grade 10 relief pitcher with R and Z modifiers. The Cardinals are going to play the infield back for Aaron Rowan. There's no outs, and the Cardinals are going to see if they can hold on here to this 3-run lead. Here's the pitch. 53 is a 17, column 2. That's going to test the right fielder, Joe Medwick, who is rated defensive 1 player. That's column 3. That's going to be a single, and a runner's going to score. The other base runner will go to second, and the White Sox trim the lead to 4-2. No outs. And now the tying run is on first base. The batter will be the middle of the White Sox order, Paul Konerko. Here's the pitch to Konerko. 52 is a 27. That is going to be a double play, a ground out to third base, 5-4 to 3. And that will send Pasednik to third base. But that changes the picture considerably, as there is now 2 outs and Jermaine Dye at the plate. That is going to bring up Jermaine Dye, who is my pick to click. The fans are on the edge of their seats, the ones that aren't standing. The St. Louis Cardinals are not going to walk him. They're going to pitch to him. They don't want to walk extra base runners. He has the tying run. Here's the pitch. 44, that's an 8. So -2. Modifier, grade 10, so that's an 8 on the column 12. That is a base hit for Jermaine Dye, driving in Pasednik and changing the score to 4-3, and that brings up the lead run, potential lead run, Joe Creedy to the plate. Yeah, the fans are really stirring here at Comiskey Park. In anticipation, Joe Creedy is the batter. And St. Louis is going to stick with their veteran, Pop Haynes. There's nobody in the bullpen. Here's the pitch to Creedy. 56 is a 34. That's going to be a pop out to shortstop. And the St. Louis Cardinals will hold on and win this game 4-3. This was another very exciting Apba Baseball Classic game today, taken by the Gas House game from St. Louis. They scored 4 runs on 10 hits and no errors, and defeated the 2005 Chicago White Sox, who scored 3 runs on 13 hits and 1 error. The winning pitcher, Paul Dean, who went 8 innings, gave up 9 hits, 5 strikeouts, a walk, and a hit batter. He was the winner over John Garland, who went 4 innings, gave up 4 runs, 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 1 base on balls. Our stars for today, for the St. Louis Cardinals, Jim Ripper Collins, who got the first big hit for the Cardinals back in the first inning, where the Cards got 3 hits. But he had a double. In the game, he had two doubles, an RBI, and scored a run. And the star for the Chicago White Sox, my pick to click, was Jermaine Dye, who goes 3 for 5 with an RBI. Final score, St. Louis 4, Chicago 3. Thanks for tuning in. Join us tomorrow on Apba Classics.